Good morning. Hello, everyone. I hope you're feeling good today and welcome to the Elevate and Connect event. We're thrilled to have you joining us for this on the SPIN4EIC initiative. 2 full hours until 12 to elevate and connect. I'm Nathalie Nupadja, the project manager of the Strategic Innovation Procurement Programme, SPIN4EIC for family and friends, and your host today. Today we connect as we had more than 300 registration events as of yesterday. And you'll see during the next 2 hours many links to newsletters, websites, calls, and many tools for you to connect with us and to each other. Certainly, we'd like to already know you. So please, log in to your YouTube or Google account in order to be able to participate in the chat and polls the team is organizing for you in this YouTube live stream. Be quick, as the first poll will happen during the first keynote speech. And then we're here today to elevate, as in raising awareness about SPIN4EIC, of course, but also linked to the mission of the EIC, to elevate EIC beneficiaries so they can grow in our context, procurement, elevate our knowledge about innovation procurement in general, with top-notch experts and international testimonies, but also elevate the level playing innovation procurement in Europe and beyond. So, I'm honored to be your moderator today, and before giving the floor to the exciting lineup of speakers, I'd like to raise some housekeeping points. 1, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat during the presentations, and we'll be happy to answer them. Again, please note that in the event on YouTube, you need to be logged in to your YouTube or Google account. Second, this event is being recorded and will be shared on the EIC community channel. So if you miss anything or want to revisit any part of today's discussion, you'll have the chance to do so. Additionally, if you encounter any technical issues during the event, please don't hesitate to let us know by writing in the chat. Our wonderful team is here to assist you. Now, let's move on to the agenda presentation. Over the next 2 hours, we have 6 rounds of discussions. First, a welcoming panel to give you some perspective and understand the background and context of SPIN4EIC initiative. Second, we zoom into the initiative itself and why is it important to work with both buyers and suppliers. Another zoom on an innovative aspect of this program, empowering public buyers. And then our core activities. What will SPIN4EIC do to support EIC beneficiaries, actually? And Last but not least, let's have a step back again, looking at the synergies SPIN4EIC has with other EU initiatives, before wrapping it up. So, thanks for your patience. Let me now give the floor to the leaders of this program, starting with our very first speaker, Stéphane Wacky, Head of European Innovation Council Department at the European Innovation Council and SMEs Executive Agency, AISMEA. Stéphane?
Thank you, Nathalie, and big welcome from me to all the participants. I am delighted to welcome you all to the launching event of SPIN4EIC, the Strategic Innovation Procurement Programme. So let me say in a few words why this is a key in our innovation activities. As you probably all know, procurement represents an enormous market opportunity for innovative SMEs and startups in Europe. More than 2 trillion euros are being spent through public procurement in Europe. But if we add also the amount that is being spent through private sector procurement, we realize that public and private sector buyers have a significant power in their hands to steer innovation in Europe towards their actual needs and challenges. Procurement that spurs innovation is a win-win for both the demand and the supply sides. Buyers, public and private sector ones, can develop and acquire breakthrough solutions to tackle societal challenges, improving, therefore, the services offered to citizens and customers, and of course also reducing the cost that is associated with the purchase itself, but also with the maintenance and upgrade of the solution. At the same time, innovation procurement has proven, especially through many studies that we conducted here at the European Commission and also at the level of the member states, to be a very useful tool in terms of accelerating the commercialization of developed through R&D of innovative goods and services. Innovative SMEs and startups are offered concrete business opportunities through innovation procurement that helps them access faster the market, contributing significantly to their scaling up. Acknowledging its importance, the EIC aims to become a center of excellence on innovation procurement at European and global levels by supporting the mainstreaming of innovation procurement and enhancing the capacity of EU innovators to access procurement markets. To that end, the EIC has designed and is implementing its flagship innovation procurement program called SPIN4EIC, Strategic Innovative Procurement, that is underpinning the engagement of the demand with the supply side in the context of a win-win approach for both. So this program stands really at the core of the EIC innovation procurement activities. The overarching objective of this program is to set up, through a holistic approach, a system scheme that will enable the EIC to play its role as a center of excellence on innovation procurement. This will be achieved mainly through the following actions. First, the creation and management of a community of public and private buyers interested in the solutions offered by the EIC beneficiaries. Then the enhancement of the capacity of public buyers to purchase innovative solutions to tackle public challenges, opening at the same time their procurement market to SMEs and startups. Piloting assistance offering to EIC beneficiaries to submit tenders in public and private sectors procurements in Europe, as well as at global level. Enhancement of the capacity of EIC beneficiaries to find business opportunities through procurement and take part as potential suppliers in bids in Europe as well as in non-EU countries. I must underline that this program is indeed strategic, as its title refers to. It is among the very few initiatives at European level that tackles the topic of innovation procurement, but putting the spotlight on the supply side, in particular the EIC innovators and their capacity to respond to the needs of the buyers in Europe and at global level. And in a period of delivery as the current one, innovation procurement is the right tool to bring breakthrough solutions to the market for the benefit of our European economy, in particular also, of course, our European societies. Therefore, its success should mark a new era in the approaches to support innovative SMEs and startups. Its impact will also be important and measurable, since many EIC top-notch innovators will be assisted to find their way to the market for their innovative solutions. In addition, I would like also to highlight that synergies with innovation procurement initiatives at European and national, regional levels are necessary. We need to build on the lessons learned, the experience of programs and innovation procurement in the past, as well as to ensure bridges with ongoing initiatives. This is exactly what we are planning to do through this initiative. So now, before I finish, I would like to note the following key point. Through this program, we'll provide something that is currently missing at large scale, the creation of a pool of European top-notch innovators that are offering breakthrough solutions for the challenges faced by our society and economies. Innovators who at the same time are ready to operate in the procurement, public and private, and this combination is indeed not easy to find in the market. So with these words, I would like to thank you for the interest you are showing in this initiative, SPIN4EIC Strategic Innovation Procurement Program. Today, you will have the opportunity to hear in detail all activities that will be implemented in the context of SPIN4EIC. Therefore, I encourage you to follow up closely on the actions on the SPIN4EIC, be actively engaged to help, elevate, and connect. I wish you a very fruitful event today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Stéphane. Let's hope we will indeed create this pool together. In the meantime, let's see with whom we will start working, as I believe we had some polls happening in the chat. And we will try to see a little bit who we have with us. We will now have the pleasure to welcome our for the European Council at the European Commission DG for Research and Innovation.
Yes, good morning, Natalie. The connection is sometimes breaking, so I hope that you can all hear me and that it's really my turn now. Good morning, everybody. My name is Angelo Ville. I'm working in DGRTD, as Natalie said, for the unit which newly created for the EIC in DGRTD. And I thank Stéphane for having outlined already the importance in the EIC of innovative procurement. And this initiative is indeed key to improve the access to such procurement procedures by the new companies in which we try to support, and also vice versa, that the public buyers or private buyers get better access to new technologies and new ideas. So as you all might know, the EIC is a feature under Horizon Europe. It has a significant budget, which I just want to recall that under this programming period, we have a bit more than 10 billion euro to spend into deep tech companies, and where we're making significant progress in this, thanks to Stéphane and his teams and at SMEA, our cooperation inside DGRTD and our EIC fund and EIB colleagues. We have a process in place now which has worked on a lot of investment decisions in this accelerator of the EIC, which is now up and running, and it is producing quite a great number of investments. We're now above 200 and have also passed the 1 billion amount threshold recently, and it's continuously producing more investment decisions. So it's working. And I'm also underlining that because there, as with all new instruments in the beginning, we had a period in which we needed to, so to say, pave the way for this operational excellence, which we're now practicing all together. And we're very confident that this will really be a game changer. And it's actually already a game changer in the European landscape of deep tech financing. So public procurement, as Stéphane said, plays one big role here, but there is also the importance maybe to understand what the EIC actually is in terms of instrument, because it is new, and this is also why public procurement plays a strategic role in it, because it is a one-stop shop. So it is a tool, an instrument which is designed to bring companies from the really very early stages, from collaborative research where there's maybe no business idea yet, to bring these ideas and technologies into the market, finishing with what I just said with the EIC accelerator and the possibility of blended finance, grant and equity investments into companies, which then hopefully become the unicorns, the European unicorns or centaurs of tomorrow. The process is in the later stages built like this, that in these investment rounds, the EIC provides an anchor investment. If you want, this is also something which is unique. It's an anchor investment by the EIC fund, which allows then financing rounds which are much larger than the investment itself. So we have a leverage effect right now of over 3.5 of each euro which we invest comes in private investment on top of that, and that allows significant investment rounds into technologies like quantum, for example. We have a lot of health technologies as well, and green tech, etc. So as said, it is a game changer already, and we hope to continue on that path. We have that aspect in the EIC, which then relates directly to the public procurement, which are the innovation ecosystems. As you know, the innovation doesn't fall from the sky. Let's say when it falls from the sky, it needs to fall on fertile ground, and that is what the ecosystems can do. We work a lot on the framework conditions with the policymakers and companies to make sure that these ideas can actually be nurtured and that they find the framework conditions which they need to prosper. So from my side, I would stop here. I wish you very good and fruitful discussion here. And I'm very confident that we will see each other in the future. And I wish you all good success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wille. Very important messages. And more than 130 participants did hear them following us on the YouTube streaming. We got the results from the first poll. 90% of our participants are EIC beneficiaries and 10% potential buyers. So we hope your message crossed around. And now comes actually the time to dive into our core topic for today. The SPIN4EIC initiative as part of the business acceleration services of the EIC. So thank you again, Stefan and Wille, for this bigger perspective. And let's see now, if we zoom into the business acceleration services, how SPIN4EIC makes part of this whole. To introduce the initiative and the business acceleration services, I would like to welcome Vasilis Tsanidis, Innovation Procurement Advisor at EISMEA and Project Officer of the SPIN4EIC Programme, the conductor of all these projects with extensive knowledge and experience about procurement in Europe. Over to you, Vasilis.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Thank you very much for your kind words. And of course, I would like to welcome you all in this. Myself from my side also in this launching event of SPIN4EIC. I will start my presentation from the point that Angelo mentioned about the European Innovation Council. And for those that they don't know, I will do a brief presentation of the European Innovation Council, the Business Acceleration Services, and the Innovation Procurement Program that is carried out in the context of the Business Acceleration Services of the European Innovation Council. If I can have the next slide, please. Yes, what is the European Innovation Council? The European Innovation Council is, as Angelo mentioned, has a budget, is a flagship initiative of a Horizon Europe program with a budget of more than 10 billion euros in the programming period from 2021 to 2027 to support game-changing innovations throughout the life cycle, from early stage research to proof of concept, technology transfer, and of course, supporting the financing and scaling up of startups and SMEs. And how it achieves that through a funding scheme that through support that is structured around three different funding schemes in line with the life cycle of innovation: Pathfinder for early research, grants for early stage research, transition grants for more mature technologies, and accelerator for closer to the market innovations, with where the support is offered through grants but also through equity. Next slide, please. And we have built a community around a European Innovation Council, including those that are receiving support from us and those that they have received support in the past, that we are aiming at their scale up. We are offering support beyond funding, and this is happening through the business acceleration services of the European Innovation Council. And the business acceleration services, we have structured them around support schemes that are facilitating the access to advice, the access to business partners, and access to innovation ecosystem and peers. Next slide, please. Here you can see better how we have structured these business acceleration services that we are offering to EIC beneficiaries, helping them scale up. We are helping them to connect, as said, to innovation ecosystem partners by provide them access to incubator, accelerators, innovation agencies, R&I infrastructure, and so on. Very important, the support that we are offering to access business partners, corporates, investors, and innovation procurers, the topic of our discussion today. And last but of course not least, we are supporting them are facilitating them to access advice and skills through programs that are involving coaching, tech to market, with women entrepreneurship, and so on. Next slide, please. The business acceleration services of European Innovation Council have started in 2021, and although we have only 2 years that we are running these services, and of course a lot more is planned to happen in the future. We have already some achievements. We have 103 deals that have been achieved in the with EIC beneficiaries. We have 600 follow-ups, 1,200 one-to-one meetings. So business acceleration services are the main point of reference, a key to unlock the scaling up of EIC beneficiaries and innovative SMEs and startups that we are supporting in the European Innovation Council. Next slide, please. And of course, the topic of our discussion today, and I hope in the next period as well, because we aim to be the talk of the town, is innovation procurement. And before starting diving into our EIC innovation procurement program, and to hear also what SPIN4EIC is offering to you as buyers, but also as suppliers and as intermediaries, we would like to give you a definition of what is innovation procurement in order to be able to provide some boundaries of for our activities. And we are, according to the Commission notice that was published in year 2021, innovation procurement refers to any procurement that has one or both of the following aspects. buying the processes of innovation, research and development services, R&D. So if you are a procurer of R&D services, or you are a supplier at the early stage innovation, we have also programs and activities for you, because we are supporting also the procurement of R&D services. And of course, we are supporting the buying of the outcomes of innovation, either you are a buyer or a supplier, an EIC beneficiary. Next slide, please. And now the EIC Bus Innovation Procurement Program. As you can see, the SPIN4EIC Strategic Innovation Procurement Program is an umbrella program. It's we will hear later in detail the activities that of SPIN4EIC that cover a whole spectrum of support services addressed to buyers and to potential suppliers. Aiming at mainstreaming innovation procurement in Europe. But also the EIC Bus Innovation Procurement Program has also other projects that are, of course, working in collaboration with SPIN4EIC, like InnoBuyers program. You will hear some later about this at the end on the synergies, as well as a new projects that we are starting that aims at de-risking innovation procurement through the support to IAC beneficiaries to test their innovative solutions to the services of public and private buyers. Before finishing my presentation, next slide, please. I would like to draw your attention to two very important events that we will have in the next month. So we are starting with an important and a very important matchmaking event that will take place on the 19th of March in the context of the EIC Summit on site, a matchmaking event that actually is taking place in collaboration with the First Movers Coalition, a World Economic Forum initiative in the area of green hydrogen and carbon dioxide removal. And the aim there is to help the engagement of EIC beneficiaries, top-notch innovators, with leading companies, members of First Movers Coalition, including Boeing, Constellium, Salesforce, and others. We don't stop there. We would like to bring also private sector procurement on the spotlight. That's why, in the context of the EU presidency event on innovation procurement, I would like also to highlight that the Belgian presidency decided to put emphasis on innovation procurement. That's why it is organizing a presidency event on this topic, on innovation procurement, that is taking place back to back with the EIC Summit in the same venue, Tour and Taxis, Brussels. And in the context of this event, the same day, we are organizing a session, an European Innovation Council session, to discuss with leading companies like Volvo Group, Holcim, Norsk Hydro, and innovators like Nanolike that were EIC beneficiaries and benefited from the BUS programs. With us, with the head of the European Innovation Council department, the benefits and barriers for innovation procurement mainstreaming. With these words, I would like to welcome you again to this launching event, to encourage you to stay tuned, because we have just started, and we hope to see you in other activities of EIC, SPIN4EIC Strategic Innovation Procurement Program in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vasilis, for this exciting overview. really makes me want to quit my job and start my company, actually. But of course, not that simple. And that is why we're here today, isn't it? Regarding potential buyers, on your point, actually 15 are participating today, with a slight majority of public buyers. So we are at 60-40 percentage at the moment of the polls we did at the beginning of the event. And if you allow me, I would just like to ask you a couple of questions before moving on. The first one is, why, according to you, is it actually necessary to mainstream innovation procurement? And why, in this context, is SPIN4EIC what you call a flagship initiative or program?
Thank you, Natalie. I think that you have heard from the welcome speeches of Stefan and Angelo that our economy and our society are facing uh, multiple challenges. And innovation procurement is the right tool to help us tackle these challenges. Why? Because we can have, through innovation procurement, better services when we're talking about public sector procurement for the citizens at a lower cost in the long term, but also greener solutions for our climate. So it's a win-win for both the demand and the supply side. And the supply side, why? Because it offers concrete business opportunities to innovative SMEs and startups. That's why innovation procurement should be one of the main tools that will help us tackle all these challenges that we are facing in our societies. And SPIN4EIC, SPIN4EIC, I think that you will understand why I'm saying that at the end of the presentation, but SPIN4EIC aims to become the program that facilitates the engagement of the demand with the supply side. We have in Europe so much so many great results, outcomes of R&D, and it's time to make them, to transform them into innovative goods and services for our benefit, for our society and for our economy benefit. That's why SPIN4EIC will offer the vehicle to achieve this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vasilis. And actually, SPIN4EIC, we have actually from the chat, the YouTube chat, a question regarding the focus of SPIN4EIC. Is it procurement in supply chains or investments?
Actually, we are helping the procurement, the purchasing of innovative innovations, innovative goods and services, but we are supporting both procurement at public but also at private levels. We don't, we have seen that public sector procurement is key, is important. 2 trillion euros are being spent at European level through public procurement. So we cannot disregard this important figure, but private sector procurement and how large companies, corporates could purchase goods and services from innovators, from innovative SMEs and startups, it's also the focus of SPIN4EIC. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vasilis. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we need to move on, but we'll come back. You stay with us until the end, until 12, so we'll have another chance to hear from you.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to welcome my colleagues, Luc Chalsej, Engagement Partner, and Sherban Bedin, Quality Assurance Director for the SPIN4EIC program. They are both leaders of the EU policy team at Deloitte Belgium, and they are my bosses, so please don't make them angry. And they are guiding the SPIN4EIC program. Luc and Sherban, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Nathalie. Well, my name is Luc Chalsej. I'm honored to be the engagement leader for this SPIN4EIC project and to welcome you in this launch event today. With our consortium composed of Deloitte Belgium, Portugal, covers in Telera, VO, Europe, and ICLE, we are embarking on this extraordinary journey over the next 3 years, and we look forward to bringing this project to fruition all together. You will see in the next presentation there are many activities as part of the program being launched at the moment. We will be piloting most of these activities in the upcoming months, and as most of these activities are new, it's the opportunity to shape them together based on your needs. So we really welcome and encourage you to apply to the activities and to embark on this journey with us in order to help you scale your businesses if you are an EIC beneficiary, or to further innovate with your services and products if you are busy or interested with procurement as potential buyers. So welcome again in this launch event. I will now pass the floor to my colleague Sherban Banin, the project director of this project, who will introduce the project objectives and overall structure. Up to you, Sherban.
Thank you, Luc. I'm really happy to introduce the SPIN4EIC program. But before diving into the program, let's look at a few facts and figures about innovation procurement to understand the market potential for companies. Now, every year, over 250,000 public authorities within the EU spend around 14% of GDP, corresponding to around 2 trillion euros per year on the purchase of services, works, and supplies. In 2019, for example, there were over 600 pre-commercial procurement, or PCP, launched across Europe. The total amount of public procurement of innovative solutions, PPI, in Europe is above 300 billion euros. That represents 10.6% of total public procurement, or about 1.8% of GDP. Research and development procurement alone in European countries amounts to about 16.6 billion euros. That's 0.6% of total public procurement, or 0.1% of GDP. This tends to show the importance and significant potential of innovation procurement to boost innovation and support the recovery of the EU economy after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, when it comes to the SPIN4EIC program, it is designed to elevate the European Innovation Council as a center of excellence in innovation procurement to ensure that EIC beneficiaries and also procurers in Europe are able to tap into this tremendous potential. The vision of the program is to create a vibrant community where potential public and private buyers will converge to explore the groundbreaking solutions offered by EIC beneficiaries. Our focus is on empowering both sides of the procurement process. On the one hand, to facilitate access of potential public buyers to innovative solutions from SMEs and startups, and on the other hand, to provide support for EIC beneficiaries to navigate procurement processes and seize global opportunities. Through strategic communication efforts, we're amplifying our message, ensuring that the impact of our project is felt far and wide. Our project unfolds in 4 different types of activities. Firstly, we aim to create a vibrant community of potential public and private buyers. By facilitating networking opportunities, providing guidance and assistance, and organizing events, we aim to foster collaboration and facilitate the procurement of innovative solutions from EIC beneficiaries. Secondly, we are empowering EIC awardees to supply innovation to EU procurers. This involves equipping them with the necessary tools and support to navigate the complexities of EU procurement processes and compete for opportunities within the EU market. Furthermore, we are extending our reach beyond the EU borders, empowering EIC awardees to supply innovation to potential non-EU buyers. This includes providing guidance on international procurement regulations, facilitating connections with non-EU buyers, and supporting EIC beneficiaries in navigating cross-border trade barriers. Lastly, we're focusing on strategic communication efforts to raise awareness about the innovation procurement and, of course, about the SPIN4EIC program and its activities. Through various channels, such as our SPIN4EIC webpage, the ASMEA social media channels, our SPIN4EIC newsletter, and our numerous events, we aim to showcase the potential of innovation procurement and the impact and success stories of the project, inspiring further participation and collaboration. Over the next sessions, we will dive more into each activity, so as already mentioned, please stay tuned and apply to our ongoing and upcoming activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherban. Thank you, Luc. Impressive numbers. For sure, we have all the potential to make a true impact, but only if EIC beneficiaries and the public and private potential buyers are joining efforts. We are 160 today to speak about this. And well, How will we make all of this happen? How can you, dear participants, take a part of it? This will be the topic of the upcoming sessions. So, first and foremost, the SPIN4EIC community will be the cornerstone of the SPIN4EIC program. This pool Stéphane Wacky was talking about. To dive into this, I would like to welcome David Brunelleschi, Director at Intellera Consulting, and our SPIN4EIC community lead. Don't hesitate to write your questions to David in the chat. David, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much, Nathalie, for giving me the floor. As already pointed out by all my colleagues just before me, the most relevant thing I believe it is important to mention about SPIN4EIC is it's that it's one of the very few programs currently running that is actually here to provide support to both sides of the field. So on one side, those willing to buy innovative products and solutions, namely public and private buyers, and on the other side, those willing to propose and sell their innovations, which in our case are the EIC beneficiaries. And we'll be hearing more about what kind of support SPIN4EIC offers specifically to buyers, the demand side, and then to providers, namely EIC beneficiaries, the supply side of innovation, in the following sessions planned for this morning. But before we get to those, I just wanted to quickly mention a few aspects of the SPIN4EIC program, which are actually designed to serve both sides, so bridging EIC beneficiaries with potential innovation buyers. And the first asset I'm happy to present to you all is the SPIN4EIC community, embedded within the EIC online community platform. As an EIC beneficiary or as a private or public buyer, you're all invited to visit and to join the EIC online community platform, a virtual space where the demand side and the supply sides of innovation procurement can come together for exchanging ideas and maybe also suggestions, sharing perhaps some good experiences. All this while potentially also engaging with peers in a collaborative environment. In particular, the SPIN4EIC program, apart from the general program landing page that was mentioned before, which provides a glimpse into the whole SPIN4EIC program and a summary of all the main initiatives going on, we have recently set up 7 dedicated SPIN4EIC groups within the online platform. 2 of these groups are dedicated respectively to public buyers and to private buyers, aimed at making available a virtual space for sharing information and for holding specific discussions. Time being, these 2 online groups are open and visible to anyone, while the EIC online community platform is currently in the process of being enhanced, so to be able in the near future to onboard also buyers as active community members. Once also buyers will be able to easily register to the platform, we'll be reaching out to you all potential buyers again to invite you to become, to join these specific groups. And at that point, these 2 groups will become restricted only to, respectively, public and private buyers, so that you will have a reserved virtual space where to engage just with your peers. But in the meanwhile, if you're a potential buyer of innovation, don't miss a chance of visiting these groups that will be regularly updated with news items and new content. The other 5 SPIN4EIC groups have been instead conceived to be open discussion and information sharing fora, where potential buyers and EIC beneficiaries can interact together among them. These have been set up on a thematic basis, trying to group together some of the most relevant sectors when it comes to procuring innovation. So just to give you an idea, there's a SPIN4EIC specific group dedicated to agriculture and food. Another one of these 5 is dedicated to health and life sciences. And then, again, as an example, there's another one of these dedicated more broadly to the digital transformation topic. So these 5 groups are aimed at creating sub-communities within the SPIN4EIC program, where EIC beneficiaries as well as buyers interested in similar topics can meet and interact specifically on those. And in these spaces, you can find thematic, specific news, open calls, relevant information on possibly upcoming events. Furthermore, getting back to the broader online community, This will also offer the buyers the opportunity to launch and promote their challenges, basically their specific needs for innovative products and solutions, to which EIC beneficiaries will have access and the possibility to respond. Final thing I wanted to mention here before moving to the next slide is that the SPIN4EIC program will be issuing, as already mentioned, on a quarterly basis, a dedicated newsletter that will include updates on events, open calls, and all the other program activities. So don't forget to register to this newsletter by clicking on the dedicated box at the bottom of the SPIN4EIC landing page. So next slide, please. To facilitate the development of a community as a space for exchanging ideas and good practices in innovation procurement, as well as a space for networking and collaboration, we plan to organize periodically in the next 2-3 years several pitching and matchmaking events, both online as e-pitching sessions, as well as some of them also physical in-person events. So to bring together private and public buyers, respectively, with EIC innovators. On one hand, these matchmaking and pitching sessions will allow public and private buyers to unveil their innovation challenges, while EIC beneficiaries with solutions potentially matching these challenges, after being selected through an open call for expression of interest process, will have the opportunity to pitch their groundbreaking solutions directly in front of potential buyers. So the first SPIN4EIC pitching event, as already mentioned by Vasilis earlier today, will take place already next month during the EIC Summit in Brussels, organized together with the First Movers Coalition, the pioneering global initiative powered by the World Economic Forum, involving this time private sector buyers interested in innovative solutions responding to the challenge of making available alternative and greener types of fuel. So despite registrations for EIC beneficiaries for actually pitching their solutions in the context of this first event are now closed, if you're coming by, if you're going to be attending the EIC Summit next March, don't miss the chance to come by and be part of the audience for our first SPIN4EIC pitching session. And of course, don't miss out on the opportunity to stay informed and engaged on the following pitching events that will be organized. As mentioned, register to our newsletter to ensure you don't miss the next challenges coming up. Next slide, please. The last transversal asset of the SPIN4EIC program I wanted to mention briefly today, and by transversal, I mean something available and possibly useful, again, for both buyers as well as for suppliers of innovation, is the SPIN4EIC Help Desk. It's basically the central point of support designed to provide assistance to end users, so procurers as well as EIC beneficiaries, facing technical or operational challenges. And more in general, it serves as a bridge between us, the project team, and those who are and will be involved in the SPIN4EIC activities. Indeed, the SPIN4EIC Help Desk will be structured into two main bodies. The Help Desk Knowledge Base section, still to come, that will provide to the innovation procurement community a knowledge-based repository of information, including frequently asked questions, case studies, good practices on innovation procurement, as well as guidelines to facilitate onboarding the community, the platform. And then, most of all, the second part, the direct communication channel, allowing buyers as well as EIC beneficiaries to send messages or requests for support by simply filling in and submitting a short online form, accessible also via the general program SPIN4EIC landing page. So, having said this, once again, my invitation is to go visit the available resources on the EIC online community platform. So to learn more about our SPIN4EIC program, don't forget to register to our newsletter. And in case of any need or any question, don't hesitate contacting us via the dedicated help desk function. Thank you very much. And Nathalie, back to you.
Thank you very much, David, for this overview. And actually, during your presentation, our dear EIC community team has published all the links you were talking about in the YouTube chat. Community page, web pages, the newsletters. So we're waiting for you there. Before you go away, David, I'd like to ask one or two questions on the community. First, Can a beneficiary actively interact and contribute to the different groups? For example, if they have just completed an interesting milestone, for instance, can they share that in the community?
Yes, of course. An EIC beneficiary, once he joins a group, can interact within it by uploading contributions like documents, starting discussions, launching events, or simply commenting contents posted by other users. That's exactly what we want. So we want to have some potentially lively online communities where everybody who once he joins the specific group can post and communicate with others.
Perfect. And is there the possibility to receive notifications from the community regarding the topics of interest, for instance?
Yes, absolutely. The notification each community member receives automatically are tailored to the so-called topics of interest that have been selected during the registration process to the EIC online community platform. So these topics of interest can also be changed, updated by going to the personal profile settings area at any time. So therefore, to be sure that you stay informed about what is going on, what will be going on in SPIN4EIC, I would recommend checking that among your topics of interest. There's, for example, also public sector innovation or maybe public procurement selected.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all very clear. Thank you, David. We have many other questions on the chat, but unfortunately we need to move on. We have a tight program. We might come back to you later on if we have other questions. Now, we need to move on to our following session, as you see, dedicated in particular to public buyers and the support SPIN4EIC can provide to them. But before hearing what SPIN4EIC has in its sleeve for assisting public buyers, we are pleased to have with us an actual public buyer that has been recently experiencing first-hand procurement of innovative solutions. I'm happy to introduce to all of you Armand Rodin, Head of the Video and Innovation Programme at SNCF, France's national state-owned railway company. Hi, Armand.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much. So yeah, my name is Armand Rodin. I'm working for SNCF Security Directorate as Head of Video and Innovation Programme. So my presentation will aim to enhance the opportunity of innovation procurement from a public buyer perspective. So first of all, for you to understand what is SNCF, just a quick word about us. SNCF is the French national railway company. We are one of the biggest public transport operator in Europe and even in the world, with more than 5 million people traveling with us each day, using our 3,000 stations, our 15,000 trains operated daily, and our almost 30,000 kilometers of railway network. So we are big size. Of course, among all our stakes, we have to ensure security for people traveling with us. And as described all over this slide, we have a strong security directorate with 3,000 armed security agents and 5 command and control centers. And there, as in any other company, we put innovation and new technologies integration in the middle of our strategic roadmap. Actually, a few years ago, we identified innovation procurement as a major opportunity for many reasons, and especially because it brings many components at the same time. The first one is the strong cooperation with our partners and European colleagues. As you can see on the right of this slide, we have many partnerships. It also brings to us the capability to develop significant technological advances, and this is very important because we try to bring to our security agent and our command and control room all the technology they need. And furthermore, procurement innovation brings us the opportunity to put a specific attention from the market on our specific needs. So what I want to do this morning is to illustrate my purpose around 2 major projects related to innovation procurement. So if you go to the next slide, the first project I want to present is Prevent PCP. I think it's a great illustration of what can be the benefits of innovation procurement. Indeed, Prevent PCP gathered several European public transport operators and many law enforcement agencies around one of our major issues, the threat related to unattended items in public transport environment. So why is it a critical topic? Of course, it's because for us, public transport operator and any public transport operator, unattended items are a plague when it comes to operate trains and when it comes to ensure security. Due to terrorism contexts, and especially in France, we consider any abandoned object as a very serious threat. And each time one occurs, we are setting up a very strong security protocol that includes a security perimeter and, of course, train traffic disruptions. We are talking about millions of loss. Just to give you some features on that, last year, the impact is almost 400,000 minutes of train operation lost. 12 million people were impacted, and we had to stop the operation of 35,000 trains. So the impact is really big. And thus, SNCF has identified video analytics tool as a possible help for ensuring a better management of unattended item situation. And we did that since 2016. At the very beginning, we conducted a lot of proof of concept with many providers from all over the world, but we understood that this technology was not mature enough to be operationally used. And here comes an innovation procurement opportunity. Knowing that this topic is concerning any public transport operator or law enforcement agency in Europe, we set up a pre-commercial procurement project aiming to develop some algorithms that can analyze CCTV images in order to do many things, actually, but to manage unattended items. So we need to be able to classify all the objects in the field of view of a camera, to identify all the association between all the objects in this field of view, to detect when an object becomes unattended, and then to be able to track the owner in the CCTV network. And of course, we need all these features implemented in our crisis management system. So in a word, it's a very complex challenge for all the suppliers in Europe. But despite the complexity, so far it's running very well, and we are currently at the beginning of the phase 3 of the PCP, which is about operational tests of the developed prototypes. And actually, we're expecting significant results comparing all the proof of concept we did in the past. Basically, this technology can become a real and strong tool, and that would not have been possible without innovation procurement that we did in this project. And of course, this is also true because this project enables us to develop a strong partnership with all the industrial companies that you can see on this slide. And we work very closely with them, and we help them to make the specific development that we need actually to better manage unattended item situations. If you go to the next slide, my second illustration is about Shield for Crowd project. Actually, with this project, I can illustrate another part of the power and benefits of innovation procurement, which is the cooperation and partnerships. Indeed, so far, Shield for Crowd is only a coordination support action project, aiming to identify a common need for European law enforcement agencies related to crowd management. Well, in this project, SNCF is the coordinator, and of course, we have a lot of French partners that are particularly involved, especially because when it comes to crowd management, we have a big topic in France that is coming, which is the Olympic Games during the summer. But through this project, it was a great opportunity for us to share all the materials that have been prepared for years regarding the stake of this event in France. And at the same time, it was a good opportunity for us to challenge it and to complete it with the knowledge of all the European actors that are involved in this project. So as you can see on this slide, we define a strong methodology to ensure convergence between the 20 partners and observatory group members that are involved in the project. And so far, I can say that we all learn from each other, and we clearly are strengthening our cooperation. Of course, we will also involve suppliers in our process because it's very important when it comes to partnership and cooperation needs. So I'm sure that the results of this project will be fruitful for all the partners, and that altogether we'll be able to launch another innovation procurement project like a PCP to tackle our most important and common needs. So to conclude, I hope that these two illustrations provide you an interesting view on the benefits of innovation procurement for a public buyer perspective. And I will let the floor to Stefan Covers, who is, by the way, also involved in these two projects. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Armand, for this testimonial. Please stick around as we'll have the Q&A moment after the next two speakers. And as you were saying, I'm happy to leave it over to Stefan Covers, our SPIN4EIC Public Buyers Assistance Leader. Stefan, the floor is yours.
Nathalie, thank you. And thank you, Armand. And thank you again for your great presentation, because it shows what the benefits are for contracting authorities entities to launch and to implement innovation procurement processes. My name is Stefan Korvers, CEO, founder of Korvers, and partner of the SPIN4EIC initiative. The first slide, please. So one of the main activities that we do under the SPIN4EIC vis-a-vis the public buyers is hands-on assistance. We have seen that hands-on assistance is extremely important to create awareness, to support contracting authorities and entities throughout Europe in order to implement innovation procurement processes. That can be procurement of R&D, as Armand just explained to you in the PREVENT project, or it can be the implementation of PPI, procurement of innovative solutions and services. So what we entail to do is the following. In order to provide the hands-on assistance, we're going to launch several calls for different types of assistance. 3 of them are really focused on the preparatory phase in order to understand all the activities that are needed to set up such an innovation procurement process. And one of the activities is about helping contracting authorities in drafting tender documents. So I will dive into that in the next sheets. But for the coming 3 years, you can apply for this kind of assistance. We also have an open call in which you can apply for, and the selection will be done on a case-by-case basis. The open calls has just been launched yesterday. You can go and look in the IC communication channel, and you can fill in the application form. If you need any support on that, of course, we can support you, that's clear. But just to let you know that the calls have just been opened and you can apply for the actual assistance. And assistance will be given by our esteemed colleagues from Entelera, ICLE, and of course, of Korvers. Next slide, please. So what are then the types of assistance that we provide, the hands-on assistance? Well, first, you need to understand what you want and what you need. So the identification assessment of needs is very important. You have different methodologies that you can apply for. Would it be great if, or the lean methodology, whatever it is. But also it's important to understand, to translate that into a use case. Because if you're not able to identify and assess what you want and what you would like to improve, then it is very difficult to implement any procurement, and of course, specifically the innovation procurement case. Based on the identification, assessment, assessment of your needs, you also would like to build up a proper business case from a public procurement perspective. That can be in order to create a better value for the citizens, for the services that you provide, or for the companies on the services that you provide, whatever it is, depending on the nature of your organizations and the services that you provide. You also would like to have a sort of an interaction with the market before you're implementing an actual procurement process. So the open market consultation approaches, but I am sure that everyone knows them, is extremely important. So what you do in this kind of OMCs is that you verify the findings that you have done. You would like to reach a certain goal. You assume that the market is ready or perhaps is not ready to be engaged with you. And that's what you would like to verify with the market. That's why this kind of open market consultations, these kind of interactions with the market are so important. And last but not least, of course, once you have done all these kind of preparatory steps, you would like to draft the tender documents, and not only the tender document itself, but perhaps also the contracts and all the related documents to that. If needed, we can also provide you with additional assistance on understanding the state of play in the market with SOTA analysis, with pattern analysis, etc. But that needs to be done on a case-by-case basis. The assistance that we provide per project, per assistance, is a maximum of 5 days, and depending on the actual case, we will define and we set the people who can support you there. So that can be people from co-office or ICLE, a combination of it, can be more business-related colleagues or more lawyers. Whatever it is, what is needed, we can support you, and we will support you on that. You can also look at the rules for the engagement. It's on the IC communication channel. There you can find out all the relevant background information as such. Next slide, please. And the assistance that we provide is not something that we have just invented. It is based upon the best practices and lessons learned from the EFIP methodology from the European Commission of DG Connect. Lessons learned over the past 10 years. So we know exactly what the needs are from the viewpoint of contracting authorities entities, and that's why we try to tailor the actual assistance in the process. So here you see the EFIP methodology and a step-by-step approach, and our assistance is really tailored around that. The open call, I just mentioned it, has just been launched, so it's open. You can apply for it. I really would applaud you to do that because we think it's absolutely needed. And also one of the main benefits that we see for contracting authorities, not only that you receive this, our expert assistance, but also that you are able to tap to the huge group of high qualified companies, SMEs and startups from the IC beneficiaries. So that are more than approximately 6,000 companies that can help you in order to move forward. And we know how it is. There's a lot of capabilities in the market that we're not even aware of. And with this IC beneficiaries group, you are able as contracting authority entity to tap into these high quality resources. So again, here's a link for the call for assistance. You'll find it also on YouTube. It will also be published through the YouTube channel. Thank you, and that's my presentation. And hope to welcome you very soon.
Thank you very much. We're lagging a little bit behind of time, so not a lot of time for Q&A, but still I'd like to have Armand and you, Stefan, very quickly for one question each that we had from the chat. Armand, we had a very interesting question for SNCF as put in the YouTube chat. What challenges have you faced when trying to engage with innovative suppliers? And how did you overcome these challenges?
Okay, yeah, it's a very good question. Actually, I would say that sometimes we have difficulty to ensure that the providers really understand that we do not want to buy on-shelf solution, but really we want to work with them on research and development activities. We faced, for instance, this problem in Prevent PCP because we received a lot of tenders, but some of the tenders, and even if it's some of the biggest industrial company in Europe, they just try to provide us with existing solution. They are not actually proposing to do some research and development activities on our needs, despite we made all the description in the call for tenders explaining that we know that there are kind of similar solutions, but when we tested them, they didn't work. So I think it's one of the big challenge. It's really to make sure that providers and suppliers understand that we are here to buy some research and development activities, and we are actually here to work with them to develop a specific solution that is compliant with our needs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And then Stefan, turning to you, there is a question from the chat about the program. Does the program provide incentives for public-private buyers to launch their processes?
Very interesting question, of course. So through the expert services that we provide, we can speed up and steer the internal process to implement this kind of innovation procurement processes, whether it be PCP or PPI, it's not so important. And the other incentive, I think that's very important, is that you're becoming part of, as we call it, the European family. of innovators, of public authorities and entities that are willing to learn and to share experiences and best practices with each other in order to move forward. So it's not only for the benefit of the demand side, but also for the benefit of the supply side. And I think there lies the strength and the benefits and the incentives for this, for participating, is that, yes, you will receive, of course, the best possible assistance. That goes without saying. But I think what is also important is that what you will see, and we know that from practice, is that through the large community of IEC beneficiaries, the result will be that you will end up with a better price-quality ratio proposals and contracts than without IEC beneficiaries. And of course, it will have an impact of society on all the societal challenges that we have to face, whether it be on sustainability or green, or even on first responders and security. Yes, we can help each other. I think there lies the incentive. And of course, our assistance is for free, if you're talking about a very concrete advantage.
True. Thank you, Stefan. And again, I apologize towards the participants because we have many questions. Maybe Armand and Stefan, if you can join the YouTube stream as well and see there, we have some questions, additional questions there. Now I'd like to go to the supply side, as you put it, Stefan, and directly give the floor first to Thomas. Thomas Mons is the co-founder and CEO of Alpine Quantum Technologies, AQT, and is a very interesting testimonial from an EIC beneficiary, which has succeeded in making its way through in bringing its innovative products and solutions to the relevant procurers. After that, please take directly the floor, Rui, who will explain what the SPIN4EIC program will do for EIC beneficiaries. Thank you, and Thomas, the floor is yours. You muted, Thomas. Sorry. You need to do it again.
Okay, so sorry, and I'll try to catch up for the 15 minutes we are already behind. So please, next slide. So what we do at AQT is really we develop ion-trap quantum technologies in a broader sense, and we want to make them available as solutions for everyone in Europe, but actually also globally. And we've been doing that for the last 2 decades, which we then, like building on the scientific research at the University of Innsbruck, we turned into a company. So if you look at the next slide, you can see that very, very swiftly we grew from about 2 persons in a small office in 2018. We're currently 30 people. And again, one or the other font got screwed up. But either way, I think the key part there is that we managed to now to be at the sustainable level of generating more than a few million revenue per year, with a compound annual growth rate in revenue, not in research grants, just pushing on revenue of more than 200% per year. And everything looks good that we managed to increase the revenue by another 200% just this year, to make sure that we have something sustainable for the quantum ecosystem, but also that we have something for the shareholders as well as for the employees to say it makes sense to join a startup. I can rest assured they do their utmost so that you can have like a salary for the family, and you can rest assured if you want to buy a flat that you can take a credit. So if you go to the next slide, because I will really make it fast, just that you know. We initially thought our background was trapped ions. So you can store individual atoms and ions, and you can manipulate them with laser field. And the applications range from metrology, which means high precision measurements, to atomic clocks for instance, alternatives for GPS, to quantum simulations, which are connected to material science, understanding alloys, to quantum computation, where there are numerous algorithms which like partially even exponentially outperform classical capabilities, with use cases ranging from security to chemistry and many other areas. So on the left-hand side, these were the modules. This is what you see in terms of what we developed at the University of Innsbruck when we thought about building a company. What we then thought of was like, well, we have to have a viable product, which is not just individual components, but a full system. And this is what you can see on the right-hand side. And we noticed that, well, it's like similar to a car. You want to do a test drive, So we have to make sure that we do not only build the system, but we actually also have to make it available by the cloud. So you can rest assured that the system does what it should do. And you can also see indicate that some of the modules have been co-developed in the context of the flagship. And as was previously mentioned, we now managed to successfully sell one of those systems as essentially innovative procurement to the Munich Quantum Valley, meaning the Leibniz Rechenzentrum in Munich. And generating this cloud access was facilitated now by an EIC accelerator grant, which really helped us to show that the system works, but also to show and make this connection with the customers. So if you go to the next slide, this was the roadmap we came up with, and it's not just a promise, but you can see really over the years that we managed to start with traps. We started to add individual components where the entire quantum computer had to be in a rack. And all of those systems were gradually like extending our product range. It was also then directly growing our revenue in the early years, even more than 400% per year, to then achieve this quantum computer in 2020. But then the important part was like, now you have the system, and as Armand was saying from SNCF, if I said it correctly now, it's not just having the device there and say this is there and it exists, but like finding this connection between what the users want and what the system can do, and really bringing these two worlds together. So when you look at the next slide now, you will see numerous cases of demonstrations that we have made with this device. On the top left, we were working, for instance, with Jeanette Lawrence to work on chemistry examples, in that case, for instance, lithium hydrate, on our quantum computer. And it was not just, like, say, run some code, but run the code, understand it, find the deviations. And we were really, really proud to demonstrate, for instance, that our device was outperforming some, and actually most of the competitors in the field. But the cool thing was that they had a direct connection to us. They knew our language. We knew what they wanted to have. And I think it's similar to the example from the French railroad system. It's not just buying something, putting it in the shelf, but it's like squeezing the utmost out of it. That brings you to the top right, where, for instance, with Professor Leimann, we were working on optimization problems, in that case, MaxCut. And again, we were able to show that our platform outperforms all our competitors, not just in Europe, but globally. On the bottom left, we were then not going and thinking only about chemistry and optimization, but we thought about, for instance, risk analysis. And that's something we did with our partners, Yoast. So that's a quantum software startup in Germany. And then in the bottom right, our focus was to also extend towards security aspects. So you can see that it's similar to a computer, where you can say, what can the computer do? But it's one part is the hardware, the other part is the software. And many, many entities are really interested to say, I have an idea, I want to write the code, I want to write the use case. Can we run it on your hardware? Let's do it together. And that's, I think, is the core of innovative procurement. And I think that was also really helping us to demonstrate the value of our solutions to the customers, which subsequently led to the procurement processes. If you now go to the last slide, or almost last slide, our focus currently is essentially connected to the Euro HPC activities to demonstrate that we can build these quantum computers, but we can also connect them with high-performance computing centers. This was enabled not necessarily in European level, but there the Austrian funding agencies allowed us at an early stage to already push for that, and we managed to demonstrate one of the first demonstrations of a quantum computer offloading and accepting tasks from a high-performance computing facility here in Innsbruck. And now, the final part is that with all of these activities, we managed to show that our quantum computer actually is the strongest quantum computer in Europe. And along those lines, thank you for your time listening to me. If you have some ideas on where you think there would be a cool use case that you want to look and think about and implement, please let us know, and we'll figure something out to then push for innovative work in Europe on quantum technologies. And with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Got you.
Thank you. But without further ado, I'd like to call in Rui, who will really explain you what the SPIN4EIC program can help you to be as successful as Thomas. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Rui.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rui Borrego. I am the lead for the assistance services for the EIC beneficiaries, and I'm here to walk you through the services that we have to offer and try to explain how your organization can benefit from them. So if I can have the first slide, please. I would like to remember that the goal of these services are to scale up the market for your organization by helping you bid for innovation procurement processes, both for private and public buyers. And we want to do that by helping you find the suitable opportunities for you to bid. We want to do that by helping you bidding for them, so guiding you through the process of bidding for these end to end. And we hope that along the process, we can build in the necessary capabilities for your organization to do this by themselves and by yourselves in the future. So this is a service that is free of any financial charge, but of course it does require a little bit of commitment and time from your side, but please do take advantage of them and from the learning experience. I would like to have the next slide, please. And what I have here is the 4 instruments that we have developed to tackle the goals I've just explained. And these instruments are, first of all, the assistance action, a quite unique instrument that I will explain in a moment. An help desk, an online place where you can go and post any questions that you have related to innovation procurement, about the program, or anything we can help with. There will also be the academies, a series of online courses where you can learn from experienced practitioners in the field of procurement. And finally, there will be a toolkit, a compilation of all the knowledge developed in this project that will be accessible for any of you who just go into our website and make use of it. So now, going into the assistance section detail and trying to explain how it may be useful for you. In the next slide, please. So the assistance section is about having your team working together with our team during the process of preparing, responding, and submitting a tender. So this can include activities such as doing a collaborative assessment of the tender specifications. These are usually complex processes, and we want your team to focus on what they do the best, which is design innovative solutions. And we can help you focus on that by focusing ourselves in the complex details of these tenders. For instance, a lot of times there are complex scoring formulas here, and we can help you try to position yourself on how to maximize the score. We can look for red flags in the tenders. During the response phase, we can try to ensure that you comply with the key milestones and by checking with you regularly. And even after submission, for example, in case there is need for an oral presentation, we can help you set up that and coaching you so that you can be as effective as possible. Now, we do understand that these processes can be very different. So in the next slide, I will show you the process of how we go about doing this for every single of you. Since every single of you have different needs, and since every tender is different, we will start this process once you've been selected, always by a kickoff meeting. In this kickoff meeting, your team will meet with our single point of contact, the person that will be with you along the journey. And together, we will define the assistance plan. And we will also put together the assistance team according to your needs. So for instance, it may be the case that all you need is just some guidances on best practices, and we can do that for you. But it also be the case that you need some intellectual property rights counseling, and we can try to do that for you as well. So we want to tailor this process as much as possible for your team. And once we have this team together and once we have the assistance plan, well, then we go about the processes of designing and submitting the tender together, and hopefully it will be a successful one for you. So this covers how the process works like and what we can offer for you in the assistance section. It's now important to understand how you can be part of it. So if I can have the next slide, please. Okay. I would invite actually any EIC beneficiary on the call right now to scan the QR code and go into our website. Here you will find what we call the ongoing call for expression of interest. This ongoing call for the expression of interest is the first step for us to meet each other. It's where you will say, what services do you offer and what sectors are the most interesting for you? And this will allow us to start matching you with any opportunities that we find. And once you are part of this pool of sellers that we are building, there are two ways that we can work together. So the first one is when we match you with the opportunity that we find. And for that, we will invite you to apply for that, or you can actually just go into our website and see any open opportunities and apply yourself for those sub-calls. Once you do, we will assess your application, and if you find there are the right conditions for us to work together, we will welcome into our assistance section. And the second way we can work together, it's also very interesting. It may be the case that you find yourself an opportunity, but that you feel you need help with. And if you do so, you can also just go into our website and fill the self-identification opportunities form. We will assess this application as well, and hopefully this will also be a way for us to work together and for you to submit an offer. So if I can have the next slide, please, and hopefully a lot of you are already into the website. There you will see the open call to receive assistance. So what I just mentioned was the open call. And there are also already two very interesting opportunities for which we are ready to assist you, should they make sense for you. The first is Radar PPI, an opportunity in the field of health. And actually, the application deadline to receive assistance for this one is already by the end of the week. So if you are interested, please do not waste any time and apply. And the second one is Impress PCP, a very interesting opportunity in the field of 10 components. So once again, if this makes sense for you, please fill in the open call and the sub call, and we will be thrilled to assess your application and to hopefully work together with you. So this covers the assistance section, and I would also like to say a few words about the other instruments that I just mentioned. So the SPIN4EIC Academies will be a set of online learning events where your team will be taught by very experienced practitioners in the field of procurement. The first one will be already from the April 15th to the April 18th. And should you want to be part of it, you will need to apply by the end of next week. So please also scan the QR code and fill in your application. We will be thrilled to have you on board already in April. And lastly, just a reminder that we will be building a toolkit. In the next slide, please. This toolkit will compile all the knowledge that we have here. So hopefully it will be full of success stories, best practices, blueprints on how to tackle these complex procedures. So stay tuned and check regularly. We are very happy to have you on board. And this concludes the presentation on the assistance services. I now give the floor back to Natalie so that she can proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rory. We see already a few questions in the chat for you, but let's save them for later and maybe just one. So we'll choose carefully. We heard in Rory's presentation that we will be providing assistance to EIC beneficiaries to participate in procurement outside of the EU. We therefore thought of inviting one of our dear colleagues from the Republic of Korea, who has many years of experience dealing with procurement in this country, to share some insights with us. And this is a very particular country when it comes to procurement. So I have the pleasure to introduce Jungle Kim, partner at Deloitte Korea and M&A strategy and public sector leader there. Jungle, happy to have you, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. Hello, everyone. Really nice to meet with you guys. Actually, and this is, you can call me Jungle, which is my nickname. I'm in charge of Deloitte Korea, and also I'm leading the M&A strategy team here in Korea. Actually, today, let me just briefly introduce about our kind of procurement system here in Korea, including all the other kind of sector. So actually, first of all, let me start with the kind of background and the, how South Korea is positioning in this kind of surroundings environment. As you may know, the South Korea is well known for the world's most innovative economies in terms of the R&D intensity and manufacturer value added and high-tech density and researcher concentration and patent activity. Next slide, please. And also, in terms of the digital competitiveness of the government, specifically the Korean government is also ranked the first top ranker regarding the digital maturity level according to the OECD Digital Government Index, and also 8th according to IMD's ranking. Next slide, please. These kind of surroundings and also all the efforts of the Korean government, finally the Korean society has been changed a lot in terms of the transformation. I mean, digital transformation, and also it changed all the society, including the industry, the sector, and the welfare and other kind of social communities has been changed a lot in terms of the digital transformation. Next slide. Let me just focus on the procurement paradigm shift, because all these kind of changes of the surroundings environment in Korea, finally the procurement, also the surroundings of procurement has been changed a lot. So as you can see on the right side, at the moment we have three types of the key agenda regarding the procurement paradigm safety here in South Korea. The first one is, we can call it open innovation ecosystem, which means that we can focus on the lean SCM activities and also including the identifying supplier selection and negotiation and order processing and inspection and payment, etc. And secondly, I can say the converged governance, which means that all the stakeholders, many different types of stakeholders, has a kind of integrated approach based on the open platforms. So which means that there is no barriers. And finally, I say commercialization and digitalization in terms of the focusing digitalization regarding the applications and platforms. And also there are so many different types of end-to-end providers, and also all data and demand-based decision-making happened in terms of the procurement paradigm shift. Next, please. Yeah, actually, of course, there are so many different types of multiple stakeholders in digital procurement ecosystem. So usually the business entities is in the center of these stakeholders, and they need to handle all these different types of stakeholders well enough. And as you may know, the surroundings of the companies and these business entities has been complicated a lot. So please, next slide, please. So that is the reason why the South Korean civil government decided to develop the digital government well enough in 2010. Actually, in 2010, at the moment, the civil government of South Korea had invested a lot in the digitalization, including the system, platform, and database, and also developed the legacy systems. All this kind of system and governance has to be divided by two entities. One is central government and another one is local government. So these two entities has their own budget and own capability, but they has been working together very closely, especially in terms of in order to enhance the procurement in public sector. Next slide. So, for example, let me just briefly show up the procurement in public sector, especially in terms of the procurement governance. There is a president on the top higher level, and there is a specific entity which is called Public Procurement Service. Actually, this entity usually decided the policy and regulations and the procedures and all other kind of the taxations regarding the procurement in public sector. And also they developed the CONEPS, which is a kind of the whole e-procurement system in public sector. Please, next slide. This CONEPS actually CONEPS is the really powerful platform at the moment, because the public, all the many different types of stakeholders in public sector and private sector, they use this platform in order for them to get into the market. Of course, for the small sized and medium sized enterprises, it's essential for them to use this CONEPS for their procurement platform. And of course, multinational companies and large companies also use this platform, but they usually have their own kind of system and platforms. So in this chapter, I would like to suggest the procurement in private sector, how they need to get into the Korean market. I mean, especially for the European companies, especially small and medium-sized companies. I would suggest the kind of virtual procurement platform based on OpenAPI Cloud. It's possible because as I mentioned before, there are so concreted and so well-defined digital platform and system and surroundings here in South Korea. So that's why it's really easier for foreign companies who are developing and accessing the virtual procurement platform in Korea. So whenever you are thinking of getting into the Korean market, it's better for you to find out the linkable DB on the left side, including public database and other database. And also there are so many different types of entities who can provide you some guidelines and support regarding the procurement. And then based on this linkable database, you can find out the key stakeholders. And then you can manage and gather and handle all the data regarding the procurement procedure. Then it could be really nice for you to find out the proper suppliers or the proper procedure regarding the procurement in South Korea. Next, please. Yeah, actually, I prepared a little bit more, but the time is limited. So whenever you have any kind of questions or any doubts, just please let me know. And probably you can have my direct email and mobile number, so you can just access me freely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jungle. Thank you to all speakers of this session. And now it's the moment for the Q&A session. So maybe we can have Thomas, Perfect, and Rui with us. Alors, Thomas, we'll start with you. Quick question for AQT. What is the single most relevant thing that you have learned in bringing your product to the market? What would you suggest? What would be one advice, if you need to give one, to the other EIC beneficiaries listening to us?
The only thing you can't change is timing. You can change the team, you can change the money, but if you're too late, you're too late. So seriously consider your timing. It's the only thing you can't, like we can't turn the clock, and so you can fix many things, but you can't do that one.
That's true. Thank you, Thomas. Question for Rui. Can EIC beneficiaries receive assistance for a tender that they have identified on their own?
Yes, they can, and we actually think that's one of the most interesting ways for us to work together. So in case an EIC beneficiary finds a tender on their own, but for which they think they need our support in any way, we would invite them to go into our website and fill in what we call the self-identification opportunities form. And by doing so, we will be in contact with them to see if we can support somehow. So yes, we can.
Perfect. You'll see below here the little link to this and in the chat in YouTube. Thank you, team. Good. Question for Jungle. What do you foresee as the main barriers for EU SMEs and startups to access procurement in Korea? You, of course, gave many insights. We had a clue of this, but if you need to do one key advice, like for Thomas, one advice, what would it be?
Yeah, actually, especially for the startups and the small and medium-sized European companies, it should be better for you to find out the proper platform provider regarding the procurement. It's easy because there are so many information on the public internet and websites. So, and also there's another one tip where you can find this kind of proper platform advisors or providers. You can find out the KOTRA, which is a Korea Trade Agency, then they
Mhm.
have all the information what you need. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I cannot take more questions because we need to move on, but this is why SPIN4EIC is about, and other projects to help EIC beneficiaries get into those markets and using procurement to grow. But not only, because we have SPIN4EIC and we have also other activities, other initiatives in the EU. So thank you very much, all of you. And let's see the more 100, we have 100 EIC beneficiaries now in the call with us. For sure, you are involved in other initiatives. How are we building bridges between all of what the EIC is doing? I'll give the floor now back to Vasilis, this time coupled with Bertrand Vert, Innovation Procurement Advisor at AISMEA, to provide us a quick overview of a couple of EU initiatives and programs that are complementary with SPIN4EIC. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Natalie. I will start with the first slide by telling that SPIN4EIC has been designed in order, you have heard that from the welcome speech of our head of department, European Innovation Council Department, has been designed in a way to capitalize the knowledge on innovation procurement that has been produced in the past, but also to work hand in hand with the ongoing projects and initiatives that are taking place at European, but also at international level. So we are here to be part of the ecosystem, and we want to work with all the relevant players in the ecosystem in Europe, but but also outside Europe at the global level. First slide, please. Here is a visualization of how we are aiming to work with all of you in this context, in this ecosystem context. And you see that we would like to, buyers are important key players for SPIN4EIC. We, all the programs, initiatives, associations of buyers that are mentioned here are indicative. We would like to work with as many as possible to provide, to join forces and create impact for the demand side. For example, you have seen that we joined forces with the First Movers Coalition, World Economic Forum initiative to organize this matchmaking event in the context of the EIC Summit. Our aim is to work with all of you, with big buyers, with the urban agenda, with the regions, with the cities, with all those that are facing challenges, and they would like to tackle this with innovative solutions provided by top-notch innovators in Europe, the EIC beneficiaries. Of course, with intermediaries, with accelerators, with those that are dealing with the mainstreaming of innovation procurement. Or, for example, I mentioned here some indicatively some activities. We will not limit to those who will go further beyond. For example, the digital innovation hubs, important stakeholders to work hand in hand with them, Procure to Innovate, an important initiative with the competence centers on innovation procurement, and of course, other initiatives like GovTech for All, GovTech Connect, GovTech Alliance, but all other initiatives that are related to innovation procurement. And of course, buyers that you will hear more about later on by my colleague Bertrand. And of course, last but not least, suppliers and investors. In the EIC, we have many programs that are targeting EIC beneficiaries. We would like to work very closely with them to maximize the impact, but also other actions related to the enhancement of to the support of the supply side, like the Enterprise Europe Network and many, many more others. And with this having said, I would like to say that, of course, we would like to work in close collaboration with all the projects that are taking place in the context of the EIC BAS Innovation Procurement Program. And we start with InnoBuyers, that Bertrand, my colleague Bertrand, will say some few words about this project. Bertrand?
Yeah, thank you. I hope you hear me well. Yes. Good morning, everyone. Absolutely. InnoBuyer is one of these actions where we do work with the support of contractors, here to mention Epsixes, Civitas, and TIC Biomed, that are actually enabling us or helping us to precisely put in contact you, EIC beneficiaries, the companies, and procurers. And we wanted to test via InnoBuyer a step further, not only putting them in relation, but also giving them the possibility to develop pilot together, following challenges that can be identified by the buyers, public mainly, and some private. And we put actually money on the table. And we did say, well, now let's try to co-create pilot solution before that the procurers will launch a fully fledged procurement. So that's where we are actually. You see on this rather complex slide, I admit, but still there is this arrow, red arrow, and actually we are exactly at the moment that we have been able to attract more than 40 proposals of challenges coming from procurers all around Europe in any sectors. And we have been selecting these challenges, and we have been asking the EIC companies, but also other companies actually outside of the EIC, to bring some proposal to answer these challenges. Actually, we had more than 170 of these proposals coming from companies, and we are currently evaluating, a jury is evaluating these proposals. So we just closed a first round of selection of proposal from companies, but I have a good news, is that we will launch in the next weeks now a new round of open proposal coming from the companies and coming from the EIC companies, answering these challenges presented by the procurers. So follow us, InnoBuyer. Next slide, please, just to give you a taste of these type of proposal. Here you see some of them, actually, and I can just take one example. Bottom right of the slide, we can see the Erasmus Hospital from Rotterdam in Netherlands, and there actually we had a specific request from this hospital, which was to develop a small solution that will allow the patient being home to be able to take some of their blood and to send it to the hospital. So they need it. They need this small device, and that's what is on the table for any companies, and notably the EIC one, to be able to develop in a 10-month period of time. Yeah, that's the aim of InnoBuyer. We hope that we will be able to test, to refine, to design better this kind of new intervention in supporting the co-creation between our companies specifically and the procurers. So stay tuned, come to us companies, follow what InnoBuyer does. You will find information on any platform, the web, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, LinkedIn, and the same for procurers. If you have challenges, we got some financial support for you and many great companies. Thank you, Vasilis. Close back to you.
Thank you, Bertrand. And last but not least, and very quickly, because we consider that innovation procurement, has an inherent risk, and we would like to de-risk the implementation of innovation procurement. And what we are going to offer in the near future, starting of this summer, from this summer, we are going to be offering grants to up to 60K to EIC awardees to carry out proof of concepts or pilot tests on the services of public and private buyers. So we are going to support to help the implementation, to mainstream the implementation of innovation procurement by offering the possibility to public and private buyers to test innovative solutions before they move on to the actual purchasing, which has to be done with open, transparent, and equal treatment conditions. But what we are offering here is a pathway to ensure that the innovation is working for the challenges that the buyers are facing. Stay tuned, because this is this new service, this new program is coming to life as of the summer this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vasilis. And as you were saying, there are many more other initiatives. We would like to give you another insight with GovTech Connect, with Giovanna Galasso, partner at Intelera Consulting, project leader of GovTech Connect, to present it very rapidly, as we are almost at the end of this very interesting event. Thank you, Giovanna.
Thank you, Natalie. As previously, may I have the slide, please? As previously mentioned by Vasilis and Bertrand, every synergy between initiatives is vital to amplify their collective impact and achieve greater outcomes. I will briefly discuss three European Commission DG Connect and DG Digit initiatives anticipated by Vasilis, aligned with the SPIN4EIC scope. These are the GovTech Connect initiatives, GovTech for All, and European Digital Innovation Hub Network. The GovTech Connect pilot project aims to create a European GovTech community, bringing together startups, SMEs, and public sector academia to foster the digitization of the public sector. Opportunities for synergies between GovTech Connect and SPIN4EIC are numerous, as they are both directly simultaneously towards buyers, in this case public buyers, and innovative startups. For instance, EIC beneficiaries are welcome to participate in our GovTech Connect bootcamps, where they can confront with other startups, exchange with the public organization representatives on mutual difficulties and perspectives, and learn from practitioners in Europe. On the other hand, GovTech Connect members could also benefit from joining the academies and the assistance services. But the two programs aren't just about startups. They also offer opportunities to public buyers. So webinars, workshops, networking events, opportunities for matchmaking are offered on continuous basis. Buyers that have also joined GovTech Connect can also benefit from the SPIN4EIC assistance and learn all the tricks to succeed in innovation procurement. Furthermore, by visiting the GovTech online community, public procurers and EIC beneficiaries can also exchange information, stay updated on the latest development. To dive deeper into the GovTech Connect project, I would suggest simply scan the QR code at the top of this slide here. You will join the GovTech community on Join Up that we keep always updated, and also connect to the LinkedIn page. There you also find a lot of information on other very relevant initiative for you, which is GovTech for All. It's an incubator including grant for the experimentation of innovative solution for delivery of services. This brings together national GovTech initiative from 14 European countries, is currently supporting 3 collaborative pilots between government agencies to use solutions developed from other countries and to procure solutions from startups. One of the pilots, very important for you, is a startup challenge for innovation procurement for 6 scalable solutions for short-term energy challenges. So feel free to start following the GovTech Connect and GovTech Follow on the Join community to keep updated about everything going on in Europe and relevant for startups. So EIC, also EIC beneficiaries working for the public sector. Next slide, please. Another European Commission-powered initiative anticipated by Vasilis is, of course, the network of European digital innovation hubs, bringing together EDIHs all over Europe together with their respective ecosystem, which also include innovative SMEs and startups, as well as public and private buyers, with the aim of fostering digital transformation in Europe. A European Digital Innovation Hub is also a bridge between innovative companies and startups in equipping them with digital tools, and on the other side, public administration, supporting them accessing to digital solutions. The network comprises now 220 EDIHs. Half of them are focused on public sector. So among their activities aimed at public administration, they also encourage and promote innovation procurement, offer guidance to public bodies in preparing and implementing public procurement of innovation, as well informing them about available EU funding opportunities and cross-border collaboration. Specifically, by adopting a trained trainers approach, there are several SPIN4EIC services that can be embedded into relevant for the DIHs. The training services could target staff working in innovation hubs because they need to support innovation procurement, but not all the staff is already equipped with the relevant skills. Additionally, the hubs could also engage in SPIN4EIC academies, so it's an important asset for them. And SPIN4EIC will be also carrying out in the upcoming months several awareness raising sessions in the context of the EDIH network, with the final goal of making also digital innovation hubs across Europe ambassadors of the added value that innovation procurement can generate. So if you are part of a EDIH, stay tuned for more details that will be coming up. Now I will pass the floor back to Natalie for the Q&A session.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Giovanna. Thank you all. Unfortunately, given we are 5 minutes to the end, I apologize, but won't be able to give the Q&A session now. Happy to answer all the questions in the chat, though. Giovanna, her team, all the team is there also connected to answer your questions. And we'll go to the next speaker. But before that, I wanted to say thank you again, Vasilis, Bertrand, Giovanna. We're still 120 following the event. And actually, 90% of the participants already benefited from one or another BAS initiative. So very interesting to have you here. Before we close, I am pleased to give the floor now to Agnieszka Stasiakowska. I hope I did pronounce it correctly. Head of Sector for the EIC Business Acceleration Services at AISMEA. Aga, please, the floor is yours before the closing remarks.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Natalie. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I wanted to say that now we're really moving towards a delivery here in Europe and here within the EIC. So it's really time to transform all the unique research results in Europe into innovative goods and services, and also to modernize our societies and boost our economy. So innovation procurement is really seen as a key tool to achieve those goals. And innovation procurement is also something that we are very much attached to in the EIC, and we want to promote it and develop it even more with the EIC beneficiaries. And of course, the SPIN4EIC is the flagship program here that will help us to achieve those goals. We really want to this program to become a center of excellence for innovation procurement in Europe and also globally. The novelty we bring here with this is that we have the EIC beneficiaries. We want to help them to make their solutions available for the innovation procurers. We want to help them to enter these market opportunities and to grow. And through this, of course, benefit the whole societies. So today you could hear ahead about all the actions that are planned through the SPIN4EIC. This is our strategic program that is aiming to engage different actors. So on one side, we will support buyers, private and public, and also we will support SMEs and startup coming from the EIC portfolio with their solutions. So we want to bring the two worlds together and tap on all the possibilities that are offered by the innovation procurement in Europe, but also outside globally. I want you to invite you actually to our first activity, let's say very visible activity of this innovation procurement program, which will be a session at the EIC Summit. So on the 18th and 19th of March, we're organizing an EIC Summit in Brussels. And I would like you to invite you to matching sessions that we organize between the EIC beneficiaries and the procurers during this summit. It's a matching action that is organized together with the First Mover Coalition and initiated from the World Economic Forum. And later the same day, also to join a workshop with companies such as Volvo Group, Holcim, Norsk Hydro, discussing with the EIC how to enhance the access of innovators to the private sector procurement markets. So stay tuned for any new activities and news regarding the SPIN4EIC and the actual activities taking place in this program. All this is available through our EIC community. We will also publicize it widely on the social media, so please stay tuned. And again, what can I say? Elevate and connect through the SPIN4EIC together with us. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. It's a pity we cannot applaud in an online event. Thank you so much, Aga, also for closing very nicely by reminding the purpose of this event, elevating and connecting. And as we wrap up today, I want to take just a quick moment to thank, first of all, to thank a lot the EIC and the SPIN4EIC teams for all the organization behind the scenes. And all our incredible speakers, your insights have truly enriched our discussions and made this event a success. And also, of course, thank the participants for your active involvement in the polls and asking questions in the chat. In the case our teams did not answer, or if you have further questions, please don't hesitate to use our online help desk. Before we part away, we kindly ask you, though, to take 1 minute to provide us with your feedback about this event by scanning the QR code on the screen. Your input is extremely valuable in helping us improve the future events, but also you'll find in there the survey, the survey on barriers and means. This is fundamental for us. You are more than 120 EIC beneficiaries right now. Please go there. Let us help you. Let us help you in providing input and insight in the activities we will do. So I'd like to thank again, especially Aga and Vasilis, as I was saying, our conductor for this SPIN4EIC program. Thank you so much for your energy, for your insights, and for all the YouTubers. Thank you again for having followed us throughout these whole 2 hours. Thank you. And stay connected.